Welcome to True Crime, False Crime. I am your host, Jordan Katcher, and I'm here to ask a question as old as the premise for this podcast. Was that a true crime or a false crime? I am joined by a guest who has specifically requested to introduce themselves. Guest?
Hi, I'm Ryan Pigg. Thank you for letting me do that.
It's my pleasure. Thank you for coming in for questioning.
Absolutely.
I'm happy to have you here.
I had nowhere else to go.
Good, because we've got a game to play here.
Yes.
Here's how it's going to work. In a moment, I'm going to read you some prompts about crimes and criminals, and they're going to be in varying different styles that either contain real-life facts or purely fabricated phoniness.
Excellent.
Great. And it's going to be up to you to get to the bottom of what is what. So here's how the game works. Odd-numbered prompts are always going to be true crime or false crime prompts. If you get that right, that's going to be worth 1 point. So I will read you a crime. You tell me if it's true or not. That's 1 point. The even-numbered prompts can be one of 5 of these prompts that you see out in front of you. We have person of interest, it's the law, reverse round, have you seen that doc, sentenced. You get to choose what order we do these in, but you only get to choose each one once, so choose wisely. Our final question. Oh, and those are worth 2 points. Our final question is last meal, where I tell you about the last meal that an inmate on death row had before they were sentenced to death.
I bet there's some good ones.
There are definitely some very good ones and some really weird ones.
I'm getting hungry just thinking about it.
Everybody says that about death row. Every time I bring up death row, somebody's like, I'm so hungry.
Have you heard the food? It's great. 5 stars.
Yeah.
Like, blah, blah, blah.
And it's like you can't even make a reservation.
Not everyone can get the death sentence, okay?
It's not that easy.
Stop bragging.
And that, if you get last meal right, that's 5 points.
Excellent. So I want last meal. What? And that's the last meal. That's the last thing.
That is the last meal is the last thing.
That's easy to remember.
Because you're on your way out.
Okay.
If you get everything right, you can get 20 points. We're going to put your points up on the leaderboard. The top 3-point earners at the end of the season are going to come back. We're going to do head-to-head combat for an epic showdown of real or fake proportions.
And the winner gets one of the last meals.
So I'm open to that.
I think that would be pretty easy to do. You just got to get whoever was a chef at a
I like that a lot,
places,
and the rest of us have to watch with Bibles in our hands.
Mm.
All right, are you ready to play the game, Ryan?
Let's do this. I'm pretty confident. I've seen the show Lie to Me at least twice.
All right, here we go. First question is a true crime, false crime. Here we go. Okay. In 2004, the body of 99-year-old Donnell Boatwright was found in the middle of Main Street in Hialeah, Florida, on the morning of Thanksgiving.
I'm picturing it now.
Though no foul play was originally believed, after searching her home, police discovered footprints leading from and to a broken window, as well as clear signs of a struggle. After a 2-week investigation, it was found out that their grandson had smothered them in their sleep and dumped the body on Main Street. Is that a true crime or a false crime?
I had a lot in there. A lot of different elements happening.
Sure. Crimes are like that.
That sounds possible. You said stepson?
Yes.
Stepson.
No, sorry, grandson.
Grandson.
It was grandson.
So that could be a little guy. That might not be possible. Also, I felt maybe someone just made that up and was listening to the song from the window.
Sure.
To the flow.
Absolutely.
My grandma gets smothered. Yeah.
That is highly possible.
Something like that, maybe.
There are adult grandsons as well. Just, I want to make sure you know that about the world.
Well, yeah. And then how old was that grandma? You have to think about that.
99.
So that could be an adult. Whew. I'm going to say, for my first one, I'm going to say this is a true crime.
That is a false crime. We got him, folks. Right off the bat.
Damn it.
All right. So now our second question is going to be one of these beautiful prompts that you see before you. And as I said, you get to choose which one we do in what order. So take your pick. Person of interest, it's the law. Reverse round. Have you seen that doc? Sentenced. What do you think?
I'm going to do it's the law.
Fantastic. So the way It's the Law works is I am going to read you the prompt with a wacky law that could be real or not.
Okay.
And here is that law. In Forks, Washington, it is illegal to recreate any scenes from the Twilight films.
Illegal.
Go
to jail or something.
Illegal, go to jail,
Money.
fined.
Yeah. I would put that next to keep your dog on a leash.
Sure.
Or pick up your trash.
Absolutely.
It's like, what would be the actual fine?
Right.
Aside from a warning. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's an interesting one. I'm going to say, and I haven't seen Twilight, but I assume there's a lot of blood, so maybe that's a reason. They were like, no reenactments whatsoever. Real blood, fake, I don't care.
Sure. It could frighten some people.
Yeah. You know what? I think I'm going to go false, though.
Let's see.
It's a pretty new movie. It takes a while to make a law. Go ahead.
You are correct. That is a false law. Go ahead. Go to Forks, Washington. Recreate the Twilight films if that's what you're into. Go into the woods and say, I know what you are.
Yeah. I know who. Is it who you are or what you are?
What you are. Because
what you
are is a vampire.
Because he's not like a famous vampire.
But he's just a vampire.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Just a high school vampire. Just a 1,000-year-old high school vampire trolling for chicks.
You can't. Not all of them could be Dracula, folks. They're still working on stuff.
That
he's
is
only
true.
300, 400 years old.
Yeah.
Something like.
That's a young vampire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like Tuck Everlasting.
Exactly. Which also has spooky undertones. On to our next prompt, which is a true crime or false crime. Between 1983 and 1992, Rudolph Rudy Bowman worked his way up the ranks of the surgical staff at First Memorial Hospital in Atlanta, Georgia. He participated in hundreds of surgeries and wrote thousands of prescriptions. However, upon his largest promotion, there were some questions raised as to his educational background. When an advisory board reviewed his records, they found no evidence of any medical training in his history. He had lied during his initial job interview and continued to lie throughout his tenure at the hospital. Is that a true crime or a false crime?
If Leo DiCaprio can do it in that movie with Tom Hanks, which is based on a real true story, I'm pretty sure.
It is.
I think this guy can do it.
It's a good book, too.
What was the year?
The year was 1983 to 1992. Not a big era for digital records.
Yeah. You're right. Just the names. You could slap on a picture of yourself over someone else's. I'm going to say true crime.
You are wrong. That is a false crime. That is not something that is real.
I'm going to get that last meal if it takes me 700 episodes.
We're going to get there.
Every single one.
I hope that you do. I truly do. Take your pick. Next choices. We already knocked off It's the Law. What do you think?
What's the last one? Sentenced?
The last one is Sentenced.
And it's similar. It's not the law. It's not the law.
So sentenced is the judgment that a judge handed down to a criminal for a crime. The sentencing.
I'll do sentenced.
All right. So as I said, sentencing is I will offer you a prompt that contains the sentencing that a judge handed down to a criminal and what they did to deserve it.
Okay.
As punishment for possession and distribution of psilocybin mushrooms, you are hereby sentenced to ingest all 5 ounces of your product in a 2-day period of time while being remanded to house arrest in a carnival funhouse.
Wow. Can you tell me what state that's in?
I'm not privy to that information. Our research department did not include that. I will tell. It's in America.
Everything like more Vermont or Florida? What are you thinking?
Just the
somewhere between
the contiguous United States of America. So
that's a big clue.
Not Alaska, not Hawaii,
Alaska, not Hawaii, interesting. I'm gonna say Funhouse though. That throws me off. I'll say false. I'm gonna say false. That
is false. You are correct.
Yeah!
That is not a real thing.
Funhouse threw me off. The rest, I was like, I can see a pissed off judge.
Absolutely.
Yeah, being like, whatever, just eat everything.
Through the research for this show, I learned that judges are way more petty than I expected them to be. I didn't anticipate judges being able to throw down petty judgments like that. But it's borderline on some real ones.
I mean, they think they're just talk show hosts, half of them.
That is true.
Unless a judge is watching this right now, then you're great. You're one of the good ones.
We love judges. Thanks for judging. On to our next true crime, false crime.
Yes, please. Let's do it.
In 1914, Dwayne Crutchfield and Roderick Sherman, the chief of police and fire department captain, respectively, in Raleigh, North Carolina, were arrested on 27 counts of arson. Their spree spanned over a year and garnered them wonderful press as heroes before their eventual arrest. During the trial, the town had to barricade the courthouse to prevent angry townspeople turned lynch mob from hauling the pair away.
And their names again?
Their names are Dwayne Crutchfield, who was the chief of police, and Roderick Sherman, who was the fire department captain in Raleigh, North Carolina in 1914.
the year is usually a big giveaway because it's like the crazier the shit that happened.
It was easier to get away with crimes the further back you go.
I would have learned about that in school in 1920s.
Yes.
I think.
Yes.
But then right after, they're like, okay, some other things have developed. Yeah.
And then there'd just be copycat killers of doing the exact
Correct.
same thing. Yeah, because it's easy to get away with crimes in olden times.
I looked like, that's a sponsor.
Yeah.
Olden times.
Our sponsor is Crimes in Olden Times.
If you need
Pretty
to
easy.
make a time machine, you can do anything. I'm feeling true. I'm feeling like it might be true. Also, because those names feel very 1914.
Well, guess what? It's not. That is false. That is not
it.
a true thing. All right, we have left person of interest, reverse round.
Okay.
Have you seen that, Doc?
Right.
Which prompt style would you like?
I'm feeling reverse round.
Reverse round.
It's fun.
So there's no cards on this stack, as you can see, and that is because the way reverse round works is you tell me about a crime, and I have to decide whether that is a true crime or a false crime.
Interesting.
Yes. So whenever you are ready, go ahead and tell me about a crime.
Okay. June 4th, 2004, in Colorado, in a small town in Colorado, there was a guy who had a business that the Colorado people wanted to shut down. He was like, no, I'm not going to shut it down. So he used his bulldozer to destroy 13 buildings in the town. And 200 rounds of fire were from the cops. And then he died. He killed himself at the end of it. But he could get away with it for like almost an entire day, just bulldozing buildings of his enemies.
This was 2004.
Yes, in Colorado.
In Colorado. That's a true crime.
It is.
That is a true crime, which means he does not get the points. Unfortunately.
Didn't think that far.
But that is a good true crime.
Yes.
I done got you, though. On to our next true crime.
I mean, I probably got some details wrong, so who is the real winner here?
In 2020, a nice modern one for you. In 2020, Fahim Saleh's torso was discovered dismembered in his luxury apartment in Manhattan, along with an electric saw. Police would later find his head and limbs in garbage bags around the apartment. 3 days later, Saleh's personal assistant, 21-year-old Tyrese Devon Haspel, was arrested and charged with his murder after surveillance footage showed Haspel using Saleh's credit card after the murder to purchase cleaning supplies and an electric saw from Home Depot.
That is probable.
And if you're gonna do crime, don't use the credit card of the person that you done crimed.
I feel like rich people are usually pretty bad at crimes. Did it sound like a rich person? You said apartment, so I'm like, wow, fancy.
So the deceased is rich. The prospective killer here is
not.
Their personal assistant, which I think you can be rich. It's not impossible to be wealthy as a personal assistant, but you have to be a personal assistant to a good person, and usually the people who need personal assistance. Yeah. And that's the end of that sentence.
Wow, interesting. Well, I think, so that may mean she doesn't have time to watch Breaking Bad and know not to do that with your credit card. I feel like that's a rookie mistake. I'm gonna go with true crime.
That is absolutely a true crime from 2020, and
lots of detail in that one too.
A wild one.
I was having trouble to keep up. I'm like, he could just throw in like an owned elephant, and I wouldn't have noticed. I'd be like, it's true.
Let's talk about the elephant in the room.
Yeah.
All right. What do you think? Have you seen that doc or person of interest?
Have you seen that doc? I've seen quite a few, so let's see.
All right. So I'm going to read you the name of a documentary or docu-series, as well as a brief synopsis. You have to tell me if it is real or fake.
Interesting. Okay.
There was always something off. In-depth interviews with the people kidnapped by Roger Pamela Zelnick.
I didn't recognize any of the words you just said.
Do you want me to read it again?
One more time. First, I thought you were quoting something. I was like, that's the title of the doc, so let's try it one more time.
All right, so the title of the documentary is There Was Always Something Off. And it is an in-depth interview series with the people kidnapped by Roger Pamela Zelnick.
Now, the only part that I'm questioning is the middle name.
That is, just for clarification, it is Roger, in quotations, Pamela Zelnick. So Pamela was a nickname or a go-by for Zelnick. So Roger Pamela Zelnick.
Okay, now it's leaning more towards true.
Would you want me to read it one more time for you?
Just give me the title one more time.
There was always something off.
There was always something off. Yeah, I'm gonna go with true then.
That is a fake crime. Or a fake documentary.
Fake documentary. And is it a real crime though?
No. There is no person.
I don't know what percentage of these are true and correct. It could be just like, and his name was actually Pam, not Pamela.
No, to our research department's research, there is nobody who has ever been called Roger Pamela Zelnick.
So far.
We can look into it. Fact check us if you want. All right, on to our final true crime, false crime before we dig into person of interest, and then eventually the last meal. So here we go. True crime, false crime. In 2019, another nice modern one for you. In 2019, using data from 23andMe, the infamous flower shop killer was finally caught. Between 1984 and 1992, Frederick Richards terrorized small towns in Maryland by placing orders to local flower shops, killing the workers, and stealing all of the flowers, save for one red rose for every body he left behind. The crime was a cold case for a number of years until Tabitha Pope, a cousin of Richards, sent in her DNA, which was used to match the flower shop killer and ultimately bring Frederick Richards to justice. Is that a true crime or a false crime?
Listen, we owe a lot to 23andMe. They've caught a lot of killers. Mm-hmm. Could probably be used for something diabolical one day, but besides that, they're doing a lot of police work.
Sure.
Yeah, I don't know. I would say true. I'm going to say true with this one. Wait, so hold on. So he'd leave that's pretty diabolical. He leaves a flower, like
one red rose,
like the kiss from Holes.
Correct.
Like she would kill and then kiss and Kate, whatever.
Little signature, little wet bandit action.
Right? Wet bandits, perfect. Yeah. So that's what I'm thinking. Maybe. And what year was this?
This was in 2019. 2019 is when the 23andMe data eventually brought Frederick to justice, but the crimes happened between 1984 and 1992.
See, here's the thing, folks. As we've progressed through history, it's gone true crime. The crime has been less about desperation and more about entertainment at this point in our generation. I think they're just like, what will get me a documentary on Hulu?
Sure,
like,
that's a good point.
So that's what I'm thinking. It might be real. So I'm gonna say true.
It is a false crime. That did not happen.
I have a bad. This is why I can't trust people.
All right. We are done with our true crime, false crimes. Okay. We have person of interest and last meal left. A possible 7 points could be swung your way. I haven't been keeping score. That's happening behind the scenes. I don't know how good it's looking for you.
I think I got one right.
Nice.
Yeah.
Way to go.
Maybe.
All right.
Well, Jordan, your guest is working with 5 points so far.
5 points.
Out of what?
Out of a possible 20, but we still have 7 left on the table.
Excellent.
All right.
I got this.
So this last prompt is person of interest.
Okay.
I will read you the name of a criminal and the crime they committed. They may be true, they may be fake. Here we go. Trinity Mort. 3 counts of murder.
That's an alien. You just wait.
That's an alien.
Disney alien. It's like if an alien show
It is also a French name.
Say the first name again.
Trinity.
And last name is
Mort. 3 counts of murder.
Trinity Mort. Am I allowed to ask anything else about?
You can ask. I don't know if what answers I'm gonna give you. Ask what you want.
Country and year.
No.
Year? Just one of the two.
I'll tell you, it's again America. We're sticking to American crimes as much as possible this year. There are a few international ones, but this season we're trying to stay local. We go on a few vacations.
Trinity Mort.
Trinity Mort, 3 counts of murder.
The murder helps me not at all.
Trinity Mort, 3
can
counts
somebody named Trinity Mort be capable of murdering 3 people or more? I'm gonna go no. I'm gonna say false.
That is correct. That is a false person of interest.
The secret is all of these are false, and I've been an idiot for thinking otherwise.
Without letting on too much during that question, mort means death in French.
Trinity death.
Trinity Mort.
Trinity Mort death.
Trinity, right?
Amazing. All right.
Here we are. We've arrived at our last meal. So the way last meal works is I read you the meal of a death row inmate that they requested before they were sentenced to death.
Oh boy. It all comes down to this.
Is it real or is it fake? This is worth 5 points. This could be huge for you.
This could change my life.
This could change your life.
I'm ready.
Fried shrimp. A bucket of KFC original recipe chicken. Fries. And a pound of strawberries.
This was Ted Bundy. I remember this. No, go. So go.
Fried shrimp.
A bucket.
A bucket of KFC original recipe chicken. Fries. And a pound of strawberries.
But why would you need the strawberries? You've already
Dessert.
You can't eat ice cream without a spoon.
What, am I going to die without dessert?
Right.
That's how I felt when I was a kid, when I was going to bed without dessert.
Oh, really?
I'm going to die. I'm going to die if I don't have this dessert. So, pound of strawberries.
Pound of strawberries, an alternative to dessert.
Dude, it's fruit. Fruit's a dessert. It's not a great one. Do you want one more time?
Yeah, why not? Let's hear it one more time.
Fried shrimp.
Fried shrimp.
A bucket of KFC original recipe chicken. Fries. And a pound of strawberries.
And again, this isn't like one thing's not true, but the other three are...
If any of it's true, it's all true. If any of it's fake, it's all fake.
I didn't want you to be like, false, strawberries weren't involved at all. Okay, so I'm gonna go true. I'm gonna say true.
It was absolutely true. That was John Wayne Gacy's final meal. Congratulations, that's 5 points for the last meal. Great job. What do we have for a final point tally for Ryan?
12 points.
12 points. Woo! Congratulations on your 12 points. If you are on the top 3 of the leaderboard, you could come back for our season finale head-to-head crime combat, and we'll see what happens. Before we get out of here, do you have any last words before this episode kicks the bucket?
I hope I beat Kirk. I don't remember what he made, but I hope I beat him. How much do you remember?
I do not. It was 9.
Woo!
So you beat Kirk.
I mean, who knows? We might see each other up there in the top 3.
That is true. You could definitely be in the top 3. That is a possibility.
Amazing.
Thank you so much for listening. Thank you for being here, Ryan. We hope you enjoyed it. If you have any true crimes or fake crimes you'd like featured on the show, you can tweet us at truecrimefalse or email us at truecrimefalsecrime@gmail.com. We would love to hear from you. And we'll be back soon with another exciting edition of True Crime, False Crime. And until then, I am Jordan Katcher. Stay true or false.
This was a Little Bit Fastenau production.